Hello, great to have your company. Welcome to the Small Caps Podcast. I'm Peter Capsanas. Today we're joined by Alex Hanley from Lithium Universe. That's ASX code LU7. Alex is the CEO of the company, which has just released some exciting news this week. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Alex, just to begin with, and for new investors, can you just give us a quick recap of the company?
Yeah, Peter, the company just completed a recompliance probably about 6 weeks ago and came back onto the boards. The company previously was called Mogul Games Group, a gaming and technology company. So it was a full change of nature, full change of scale, and we've come onto the boards after the existing shell took on a suite of projects across Canada and Australia.
So it's quite an about face, really, for a former gaming tech company to take the plunge into this sphere. So talk to us about the assets. Where are they, and what phase are they in?
Yeah, sure. So the assets in Australia comprise of the Voyager rare earth project down in Tasmania, which is right next door to AVX Resources, which has about a 27 million tonne resource down there and growing quite significantly. And the other project within the Australian portfolio is up near Bald Hill and Mount Marion, which we call the Lefroy project, focused on lithium. But over in Canada, we've got a project in Ontario. It's called the Margot Lake Lithium Project. It's proximal to the PAC and Spark deposits run by Frontier Lithium up in the Red Lake district. So it's an early stage lithium project up there. But all focus for the company is in Quebec, within James Bay, at our Apollo Lithium project, which is situated within 30 kilometres of both Winsome Resources Adina and Patriot Battery Metals Corvette projects. So great jurisdiction. We've got boots on the ground at the moment in Quebec. And that exploration work continues to be systematic to the end of the summer field season.
So, yeah, it's quite a hot spot, as you say, and you mentioned some other companies nearby. So in terms of regulatory approvals, how far into it are you?
Yeah, obviously we're on the ground, so we've had the initial approvals to get on to the license itself up in James Bay. That wasn't an issue at all. We've actually gone one step further, and we've actually got a drill permit ready to go when we do find the time for that drilling to commence. And there was no issues in obtaining that license either. So all things go. We are continually engaging with the First Nations group up there as well. So continual engagement with all stakeholders at this point is going quite well.
So boots on the ground, engagement with relevant stakeholders. You mentioned a drilling permit. How far off are you from actual, digging into the ground?
Yeah, obviously drill targets first, Peter. So we're typically the Quebecers up in Quebec and James Bay. They love drilling in the winter. There's a heavy fog season that normally sort of ensues around sort of December, January. So any drilling that would take place within the region would start commencing when winter's right at the peak and the fog's cleared, probably late January, early February. But we're still obviously assessing all of our results at this moment, and we'll have some results back from the lab within about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. So you've talk to us a bit about the structure and the board, because you've got the likes of Iggy Tan, who's no stranger to the world of lithium, bit of a pioneer, you could say. How's that working in terms of developing the Quebec Lithium Processing Hub?
Yeah, the dream team, we call them, Peter. That's Iggy Tan, who's the leader of the pack. He's obviously no stranger to the lithium industry, having started his time back with Greenbushes actually in 1995, commissioning the lithium carbonate plant before moving on to manage the Galaxy Resources from what was a $10 million market cap to about $2.5 billion at merger with Orocobre. And notably during that time, he built the first fully integrated mine to refinery project, comprising the Mount Cattlin spodumene mine and concentrated over there in WA, and also the Jiangsu lithium carbonate plant in China. So fully vertically integrated, and with that he's picked up a lot of clients and experience along the way. Also joining him on the board is Dr. Jingwan Liu, who is the international expert with downstream processing, but also Pat Scallon. Now, Pat Scallon ran Greenbushes for 25 years. So we've got everything from exploration all the way through to markets, Peter.
Yeah, like quite the dream team indeed. And Greenbushes there in the southwest of Western Australia, no stranger to the world of lithium. You've also only last week, and we'll get on to the news of this week in just a moment, Alex, but last week you announced we appointed Primero Group as lead designer of the concentrator engineering study. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, Primero, they're quite I suppose, a well-known entity within the lithium industry, having worked on, the Mount Holland project, the Finesse project, and notably Pilgangoora as well. But over in Quebec, they've got the James Bay project over with Allchem. So they know lithium. They very well know Quebec. So we've been talking to the guys in the Montreal office as well as here in Perth, and talking about getting them on early, which we have, to start talking through what the multi-purpose standalone concentrator would look like for the company. It is, I suppose, one facet of our broader strategy for the Quebec Lithium Processing Hub. And we've got the right guys on board that can deliver that viability and feasibility straight away.
So what I'm gathering is a long-term macro downstream outlook here, Alex. So Primero last week, this week, hot off the press, you've announced Hatch coming into the fray as well. Who are they, and what are they going to do for you?
Yeah, Hatch. Well, again, Hatch, I don't think need any introduction themselves. They don't generally, they pick and choose who they want to work with, and we sort of approached them a couple of weeks ago to talk about our ambitions over in Quebec and how they could help us. And I think the synergies there, Peter, are quite significant. Hatch built the Jiangsu lithium carbonate plant for Iggy back in Galaxy days, and we're looking to recreate a similar type of process flow, obviously tailored for the Quebec environment. So we've got the right people for the job that have done it before, with the team from our side internally that have managed the process as well. So it was a natural fit with Hatch, and they're coming on board to, I suppose, pull together the second facet of the Quebec Lithium Processing Hub, which is the refinery. So we've got Primero looking at the concentrator, and now Hatch looking at the refinery. So we're going to get a very good understanding of what the viability of that, as you say, macroeconomic outlook looks very soon.
So it's all full steam ahead, Alex. There's no seemingly slowing down for the company, even though I guess drilling isn't in its full phase as yet. So it could be argued that it's ambitious and highly aspirational.
Oh no, definitely, and I think we're no strangers to that. Obviously, Iggy Tan, he was a trailblazer in the early stages of the lithium industry. Doing what a lot of people thought couldn't be done within those early stages, and when times were quite difficult. So, we'll be looking at talking to partners and other explorers within the region to understand what their appetite is for run-of-mine offtake as well. And that's sort of part of the broader vision or strategy for the company is really collaborating with the number of exploration specialists within the province to understand how we can fit into the broader economic play.
I want to go back and touch on excuse me. Touch on your consultation and dealings with First Nations people there specifically. What's that process like compared to the processes over here in Australia, in particular Western Australia?
The First Nation, the Creed Nation that we're dealing with, they are quite sophisticated. There is a strong connection similar to Australia to the land, but they just want to be treated with respect, Peter. They want to be brought along the journey, be communicated with, and it's all about early engagement, as I dare say, everyone always says. So these guys, they're very friendly. Mining industry in Quebec is mature. There's been a very strong gold mining community up in the Val d'Or and Abitibi region for the last 100 years. So mining is, they're no stranger to mining. They understand the green energy push and what the critical mineral strategy means federally and provincially, but also within the community level as well. And they're looking to contribute to that and be part of the journey from the early stages.
Now, Alex, before we do wind things up, the LU7 story is quite impressive already in its, shall we say, infancy. You've got the Dream Team board, as you said, that you've touched on. What separates the LU7 story from other lithium-oriented stories? Lithium has been the buzzword for quite a while now. What separates you? Probably a tough question. What separates you and your story and other lithium explorers and companies right now?
Yeah, I think it boils down to who the jockey is, right? Now, if previous or I suppose other companies or peers within the region could probably boast, one lithium technical expert within their group as the sort of cornerstone. We've got essentially 7 cornerstones included within our board and executive management team. So we're lithium pedigree rich, I'll say, and it's with the team that things can happen. So with this team, we can look at all different alternatives. We can deliver a strategy that is seemingly ambitious to other companies and analysts out there. So Peter, I think it boils down to the team and the strategy.
All right. Well, plenty of developments, plenty of stuff on the go. We look forward with keen interest in the next months ahead. Alex, thanks very much for sharing the Lithium Universe story so far, and we're keen to see what else is on the horizon in the very near future. Thanks again for joining us on the Small Caps podcast today.
Thanks, Peter.